What's up, MuggleCast listeners? If you want to make an impact online, GoDaddy.com has what you need. Get your own .com domain name for as low as $1.99. Plus, world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much more. Plus, as a listener of MuggleCast, enter code MUGGLE, that's MUGGLE, when you check out, and save an additional 10% on any order. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
This week's MuggleCast is also brought to you by Borders. Prepare for the upcoming release of Book 7 by catching a glimpse of where it all began. During the month of April, you can purchase Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on DVD for only $14.99 at Borders. Also, be sure to reserve Book 7 at Borders at 40% off and get a free sticker. Choose from Trust Snape or Snape is a very bad man. Because some people quit listening to our show because of what we said about what happens in Book 7. This is MuggleCast episode 85 for April 8th, 2007. Got a few emails here this week I thought we could read to kick off the show. First one comes from Donna, 36 of Missouri. She writes, I cannot believe you've ruined MuggleCast for me. I will no longer be able to listen until after the 7th book comes out. You were making the wait until then bearable because I had you guys every week giving me something to think about before the next book comes out. Now that you guys have read it, I will be afraid to listen just in case you let slip with a big spoiler and ruin the book for me. I guess I will have to start listening to the quote-unquote other Harry Potter podcast, even though I never enjoyed it as much. I wish you the best. Love your podcast. Donna wasn't too happy, guys, about our little review of the book.
And you know what I find funny about it is so many people thought it was an April Fool's joke. And I guess now would be a really bad time for us to tell Donna that it wasn't. I mean... that's what gets me, Laura. That's what gets me. Another email from Stella Rooney, 8 years old, from Glasgow, UK. She writes, her subject is April Foul. Dear MuggleCasters, what a nice little joke about the manuscript. Not. How could you do something like that? I'm sure I'm not speaking for myself when I say that there are people out there that took that seriously and didn't think about it when it was released. It really was an April Foul. I'm lucky that my mum pointed out to me that if it was for real, it would have been all over the newspapers. You didn't think about that, did you? Again, not sure why I didn't make it to the press, but, it was real.
Yeah.
Everyone got it, right? Everyone could say that they got the book, right?
Yeah, I just got mine the other day, so I just finished reading it.
Oh, Mikey, how do you enjoy it, by the way?
It's wonderful. You know,
yeah,
I was a little surprised. I was left out, but I got it finally, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that. I mean, you know, the US mail, you try to do, like, the confirmation sending, where they swear it's going to be there by, you know, a certain day, and then, you know, it doesn't show up.
It's all right.
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee that the post person wouldn't want to read it themselves. I mean, come on.
That's true. That's true. I forgot to, like, wrap it up so they didn't know what it was inside. Anyway, welcome everyone to the show, and we got some more coverage to talk about this week. But before we do anything else, I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
And I'm Mikey Bouchreau.
Micah Tannenbaum is standing by in the MuggleCast News Center with the past week's top Harry Potter news stories. Micah.
Thanks, Andrew. The U.S. Potter publisher Scholastic has introduced unbending rules for libraries handling Deathly Hallows this summer. According to the contract which Scholastic is having the libraries sign, the number of employees handling the novel must be limited. Oh, time to put in my application. Work in the library. Furthermore, those libraries that breach the contract could be blacklisted from future book releases. Well, guys, I mean, this is your last shot. This is the last Harry Potter book, so who cares about any releases after this? The contract states that we acknowledge and agree that any such violation will cause irreparable harm to Scholastic and the author J.K. Rowling, and that monetary damages will be inadequate to compensate for violations. Last Saturday, the Harry Potter series won in the category of Favorite Book at the 20th anniversary of the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Always a favorite at this slime-filled ceremony, Harry has also won in the category of Favorite Movie in past years. The series beat out How to Eat Fried Worms, Island of the Blue Dolphins, and Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Bloomsbury has updated their 21 Great Reads for the 21st century, with news that over the next year 2 or 3 authors will be featured each month, giving details of their careers, forthcoming books, and events and suggestions of similar Bloomsbury authors you might be interested in. We're unsure as to whether J.K. Rowling will be featured, but we will keep you updated. Dan Radcliffe, the Harry Potter actor, previously recorded a video to raise awareness and funds for children in extreme poverty in America and Africa. This video, along with those of Helena Bonham Carter, who plays Bellatrix Lestrange, and a number of other celebrities, will be broadcast on American Idol Gives Back, April 25th. Finally, a new report states that Harry Potter is the most searched fan fiction on Yahoo. That's all the news for this April 8th, 2007 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
Okay, thank you, Micah.
Yo, yo.
Is that your new thing?
What's up, Micah?
Yeah, what's up, yo?
Yo, what's up, G?
You wanna do your own rap, Micah, for the show?
Yeah, why not? The news rap.
Yeah, there you go. We have a...
Don't sound so excited about that, really.
Well, you know. We have a couple announcements this week. Of course, big one for the show. We have changed our cover art, and we have a brand new website over at MuggleCast.com. Does everyone like it?
I think it's awesome. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Basically, I mean, I want to talk about a few things here, but the website was made by Greg Porter. He's been on the show a couple times, of ZaylorStudios.com. He does fantastic website design, so head over to his website today, and you can use the code MCMuggle to get a special discount on your design created by Greg. We highly recommend him. He made that website in a day, guys, and coded it for us. It was a fantastic job, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And, of course, we have the new album art, if you haven't checked the MySpace or the Facebook or anywhere else lately. But the reason we did this change, and I don't want to get sentimental, but the reason we did this change is because, really, it's a new era of MuggleCasting. Well, all we're talking about now is the 7th and final Harry Potter book, and that's, what we're focused on now, so it only makes sense to change over our visual, our one and only visual for the show, which is the cover art and the website. So I guess that's 2. But I know what most of you are asking right now. Why do you guys do this just like the other Harry Potter podcast? You guys ripped them off. 2 things about that. 1, last time I checked.
Wrong.
Last time I checked.
We have a black iPod.
Yeah.
We got the black iPod.
First of all,
I like that.
guys,
Cool.
We have a black
We got a
iPod.
black one.
Yeah. My favorite part of this new album art is that we still have the MuggleCast album art, the old one, the Half-Blood Prince one, inside the iPod. But anyway, first of all, we've said publicly on this show multiple times that we are going to be probably switching over to the new cover as our album art once it came out. Second of all, we can't hear any complaints about people saying, "Oh, you guys copied the other Harry Potter podcast," when in fact, we're doing the whole book cover as the album art thing with an iPod on it for a year and a half now. So, whatever. But we hope everyone does enjoy it a lot, and we know we do. So, that's that. Also, bad news about the suitcase video, and I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. Long story short, I can't bring it into school. There's all this nonsense going on about, filming in school. That doesn't involve MuggleCast itself, but doing it in school. So, I do apologize for that. The winners are going to be getting the pieces of their suitcases, of the suitcase. Maybe I'll take some pictures of the destroyed suitcase. It is still sitting here in my room, and the dead body in there is still rotting, so I do want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Also, don't forget to vote for us on Podcast Alley. We thank everyone for their votes. And don't forget me, Micah. Yo. And Ben and Jamie will all be at Enlightening 2007 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the University of Penn from July 12th to the 15th. We're going to be going to the movie premiere, hosting a podcast, and we're also going to be doing a seminar on how to make your own podcast. We're going to teach you all the ropes, and we have an update on the live podcast. It's going to be in the Irvine Auditorium, over 800 seats, a beautiful theater to host the podcast in, so we're really looking forward to that, and more details can be found on enlightening2007.org. So we're going to get right into our main discussion this week, guys. I want to start off with Kevin and Mikey's thoughts. Kevin, you want to go first? Your general thoughts about the cover, so we can kick off our discussion?
Well, I've heard a lot of people don't like it because it seemed too colorful, but I like it. I think it's a little...
You're talking about the UK cover?
Yeah.
Children's edition?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's unique.
What was your initial thought about the US cover?
Well, I was very interested to see the little silhouettes in the background. That along with Harry and Voldemort grasping out towards something. I think I said it or Micah brought it up to me. It looks almost like they're trying to cast wandless magic, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we brought up on the show that on, I think it was at least 4 of the covers, Harry's holding his wand, along with at least 1 or 2 other people. And in this case, neither Harry nor Voldemort are holding their wands.
Yeah,
so,
yep. Not to mention, it's the first time we actually saw Voldemort illustrated. So.
Yeah, that's true. So. Yeah, but yeah, I really think it only makes sense that he only shows up on the
final cover. Yeah,
because it's sort of like, granted though, it's not on the front cover; he's on the back. I guess that'll be nonetheless still very cool. How about the UK adult edition with RAB's locket?
I think that's really interesting because it showed up in. Or at least we think it's in the children's edition of the US version around Harry's neck. So I'm very surprised they're giving so much focus to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about the fact that last time it was Snape's diary right there on the cover, and now it's the locket. So it's like, is that going to play a semi-important role, or is it going to be a huge role?
Well, what I was thinking was, maybe perhaps it's the last Horcrux to be found, and that's why they're giving so much, attention to it.
Well, are we all in agreement that the locket is a very crucial Horcrux for one reason or another?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It has to be.
It wouldn't be featured on the cover if it wasn't.
And I think it is because of the fact that it's now potentially hidden beyond where it was hidden originally. So it's not like the other Horcruxes, which could be found in their original spots. This has, been moved.
Well, I also think that it has so much more meaning because it's been alluded to so many times. We think we've seen it in Order of the Phoenix. We saw it, or we thought we could have seen it in Half-Blood Prince, and now it's, like you said, it could be moved. We might find out more about, RAB, we will, but, there's all these different things surrounding that locket.
Mm-hmm.
So. But now, are we under the impression that it's not destroyed? Because based on the note, I thought RAB destroyed it, or did he just take it?
I think everyone...
Or we hoped he destroyed it.
Right, I think everyone thinks that it's the locket that they showed in Grimwald Place. So.
Right. So, Mikey, what are your general thoughts on the covers? Are you happy with them?
Yeah, I like the US edition. The Children's UK edition kind of freaks me out a little. It looks, it's got a lot of information on there, but I'm not too fond of the artwork. It's just kind of, maybe too much is going on, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been fond of any of the UK covers. This one, honestly, I would have to say that this one would be my favorite just because of how much detail is in it. I kind of like how colorful it is. I love Hogwarts on the back, if that is Hogwarts.
Yeah,
which
I know it's it's a different color. It's got some really cool stuff. What's with the prongs on the right hand side and that snake globe on the left?
It
just brings up too many questions, and I like simple things. Art simplistic. I like the US cover.
Yeah.
I like the adult cover. It's nice, very simple. Again, it's the locket, but I like it.
Yeah.
I had some inside information when it was coming out, so I woke up to see it right when it was released. I was up at 4 a.m.
You're just on top of the ball, man.
Yeah, what can I say?
I wonder, do you know anything about what that little... I don't even know what to call it. The triangle with the circle inside of it and the line going through the triangle on the UK children's cover spine. It reminds me, it's Legend of Zelda-ish, and me and Micah
I know what you're
were
talking
about
about
this earlier this week.
The Triforce of Wisdom.
It's like a Triforce. It's like a Triforce.
It's like a Triforce. It's like the Eye of the Illuminati, where the triangle is above it all and the eye inside of it. Yeah. But I don't know what it is.
It's got it. I think that has nothing to do with Bloomsbury. I don't think.
I don't know.
No, because I think somebody else brought up a couple of shows ago, or something like that usually whatever's in that area, and it may have been you, Andrew, is critical to the book. It's critical to that particular book in the series. Whatever little object shows up there.
Oh, you know what? I just Google searched it and I found it. It's the equilateral triangle. That's what it means. Is because it's a perfect circle inside of a perfect triangle.
Oh.
And that's what it, harmonic ratios of the regular polygons. That's what I found. I Google searched circle triangle, and that's what popped up.
Are there going to be parallel universes in the seventh novel?
Actually, I just found a religious site relating to this triangle, so give me a second if I can find it.
Oh.
Maybe it means they're doing geometry in this book.
Yeah.
Yes. Who knows?
7th year students need to take geometry classes.
A couple of listeners wrote in with creative ideas that perhaps it's an ancient rune.
Oh, it could relate to runes.
We know Hermione likes that subject a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes into play. I think somebody even went as far to go to J.K. Rowling's website and into that Ancient Runes book that she has, and to see if it had any relevance, but of course there was nothing there.
Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. I found a religious site. It says, circle and triangle combines the symbol for eternity with the symbol for Trinity.
What? Eternity?
Symbol for eternity with the symbol for Trinity. I don't know if that means like religious Trinity or eternity is circle.
Well, you're looking cool. on a religious site, right? So.
No. It's like some Greek. Hold on, let me see what the name is. Christian Symbols, Glossary, Forums, Feasts, Religions, Forum. So yeah, it is a religious.
Is that by Laura Mallory?
I don't know, but here's the link so you guys can take a look yourself.
Well, I'm looking at a definition of Trinity, and it can also mean 3 people considered as a unit. The trio.
Harry, Ron, Hermione.
There you go. And the trio happen to be
eternity. Those 3 will be forever together. They will destroy Voldemort.
I don't want to.
They will destroy Voldemort. They will win. Yeah.
Oh my.
All right.
Well, what's interesting about that, though, Mikey, is usually when people refer to eternity, that means death.
But they will quiet down. I don't want them to die. Okay. You're gonna make me cry here. Okay. No, I won't cry. Not on record now.
So we have the Trinity, the trio, in eternity.
This is groundbreaking stuff right
here.
This
is on the spot,
live on the show. This is called, we didn't prep beforehand, so let's do it on the show.
I'm showing my Google searches skills right now.
Interesting.
As I bring this up. I don't know.
Well, that's very interesting. If anyone has any thoughts, email them into MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com. I'm sure we got some people out there who could come up with some interesting theories for that. But, I mean, the trio's on the cover, too.
Well, we definitely want to see... We want to see what the other covers have in that location as well.
Well,
because we need to link it somewhere.
Where exactly... Hang on, I've got my UK editions. Where exactly is it?
It's on the spine at the top. Yeah.
There's nothing on them.
On any of them?
There's nothing like that. Like, they have little pictures at the top that continue from the back cover, but there's no symbol or anything like that.
Interesting.
Like on the Goblet of Fire one, it's just like a little owl at the top of it.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I remember seeing that owl on the books before. But
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, there's so much more information on these UK books. You got prongs, and you got that like prophecy thing with the snake in it, and then the back cover is pretty. I love the back cover. I love Hogwarts.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the full moon.
It's definitely moonlit.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the Bloomsbury logo? Is it a dog?
It's a dog.
Or is it something else?
Yeah. No, it's a triangle with a circle in the middle.
Well, no, because you know what? That black dog reminds me of Sirius. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm screeching at limbs here, but trying to make myself sound a little bit better. But
what's interesting? Right. You know how last week we were kind of debating about whether the castle on the back of the Deathly Hallows UK edition is Hogwarts. And I'm looking at the Goblet of Fire edition, and it has an inside view of like one of the staircases and one of the archways, and it doesn't match, at least in my opinion. Like, the inside of the castle does not match the outside of the castle that we're seeing on the back of the new cover.
Does it say the cover illustrator on, like, the inside flap?
Sure it does.
Because on this one it says Jason Cockcroft.
This one has a bunch of blurbs on it.
Because it's been a different illustrator for each, I mean, that's interesting what you bring up.
It's a different illustrator?
For each book, yeah.
Are you serious? That's stupid.
That's what Jamie said, yeah. So, that's interesting.
In the U.S., we all got the same illustrator,
this guy
so
was
cool.
Gills Greenfield. So, I mean, it could just be lack of continuity, but it's so weird. You would think that they would want to kind of have them all make sense, but...
Yeah. Did we talk about this last week? On the front cover of the UK edition, Harry Potter, it's white on black. Black sort of representing the end, death. I mean, it's nothing really big, but
I don't think so.
Kind of interesting. Just a little side note there.
Not that
let's move on to some emails. We've been getting lots of emails this week, of course, with everyone sending in their theories, and we love reading them all. We have a couple here. We're going to start off with one from Matt. He's 18 of Western Australia, Perth, Western Australia. He writes, I just wanted to note to you guys that although it would be more likely a situation for Dobby to be on Harry's back, I believe it's Kreacher. Why? Because Joe made sure Kreacher was kept in the Order of the Phoenix film, whereas Dobby is long gone. You would expect that the house elf on Harry's back is at that moment playing an important role in the book, and as such couldn't possibly be Dobby, as I take Joe's insistence to mean that Dobby has no further part to play. Just a theory. I have millions more, but this will do for now. Adios, Matt. I like that. That's an interesting point. I mean, Dobby's gone now, and he's not going to be in the fifth film. And if she pushed for Kreacher to be in the film, and I know we've heard that there's been argument. There was actually an argument over whether to. Not an argument, but there was a discussion to decide whether or not Kreacher would be kept in or not. I think that just says right there that he plays an important role that we haven't seen yet.
I mean, I think it's plausible, but I think we also need to remember that he played a pretty important role in the fifth book. I mean, he's essentially the reason that everybody went to the Department of Mysteries.
Well, that is true. That actually.
And how do you explain that? I mean...
Well, I
what
think,
lame justification could they use, really?
Well, trust me.
I mean, I'm saying it would be really bad.
Well, I was listening to what you guys were saying on episode 80 because I was working on the transcript for it earlier.
MuggleCast.com/train. Actually, not at all. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, they can explain away a lot of things if they really, really wanted to. But in this case, I agree with what Laura's saying. I think that Kreacher... in particular, was much more important to Book 5, so his inclusion in the movie is probably a little bit more important than Dobby.
Well, don't you think that she's just giving them pointers for vital points in the plot that they will have to include in the movie, and not necessarily what's going to happen in the book? Because Dobby can play a part in, like, Book 5, but they can explain away that particular part that he played, whereas maybe Kreacher plays such a large part they won't be able to just simply explain it away, because these are large books and they have to cut a lot of stuff from it, and maybe her saying that is just her saying Kreacher's gonna play a role that you can't cut out from the movie. Not saying that Dobby doesn't play a role in the book. It's just that Dobby's part in the book could be, swept to the side, whereas Kreacher's couldn't.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Well, we actually do have a voicemail about what else that thing on Harry's back could be. So, I mean, we'll get to that in a few minutes, but...
So basically what you're saying is... Okay. I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about I don't want to spoil it or anything, so that we end up talking about it. Yeah. That would be it. But yeah.
Yes.
We mentioned that on a future episode.
Yeah. All right, we have another email now. Natalie, 14 of Utah. She writes, "Hi, MuggleCasters. I was just wondering what you think the format of Deathly Hallows will be in comparison to the other books. In this final book, Jo has things to tie up, not more plot lines to formulate. Do you think that this book will differ from her trademark writing style? Just wanted to hear your comments. Thanks and love the show." I don't know what the... it's going to be following the same format, I think. He's going to start off in the Burrow. We know that much. And
the Burrow? I thought he was going to start up at number 4 Privet Drive.
Well, why did I think that?
Yeah, he's going to... Yeah.
Well, he will go to the Burrow.
He will go to the Burrow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Just correcting you now, Angie, just so you know.
I thought the cover said Harry is waiting in the Burrow. Never mind. This is Privet Drive. Sorry.
Yeah. I think that Deathly Hallows will definitely stay consistent with the same kind of theme that books 4 through 6 had, because if you look at the series, books 1 through 3 kind of tend to be focused more on the future and learning things about what will happen. But as you got into Goblet of Fire and moved onward, we saw a lot more memories and diving into pensives and all that kind of stuff. So I think that we're definitely going to learn a lot more about the past in this book as well.
Yeah, and 1 through 3 were really used for a lot of character development.
Yeah,
and
it was a lot of setup.
Yeah, after book 3, it became, there was character development, but not nearly to the extent that we saw in the first books. So I agree. I think it's going to be just like the book 4 through 6.
As I reread her email, it says... no more plot lines are to be formulated. I think it's more the fact that there's still going to be new plot lines that we don't know about. We're going on an adventure that we don't know anything about. So it's not that she's going to just be giving us answers to stuff we've been questioning, but, we're still going to be finding new stuff out. So I definitely think it's going to be the same to what we've read. Definitely the last few books. Same there.
The ending, of course, is going to be probably like nothing we've ever seen before. And, of course, the epilogue. So
yeah.
Then we have another email from Mike, 15 of St. Louis. He says, "Hey guys, I remember J.K. Rowling saying that we would see the Hogwarts graveyard before the series is over. To me, the U.S. cover seems to be set outside, and all of the dark shadows that look like people are also in the shape of gravestones. This leads me to believe that this may be the scene of a battle. Final is my guess, since he's wearing the locket. This could make for some interesting happenings since Dumbledore is buried there. Okay, that's all. Keep up the good work." It doesn't really look like a graveyard to me. Does it to you guys?
No, it doesn't look like a graveyard to me at all.
It looks like a Coliseum.
That's what everyone.
It really does.
Yeah, Coliseum.
Not the Coliseum. It actually looks like someone actually hunted and told me the exact place that it looks like and showed me comparison pictures. I said, that's cool, but I don't remember. But I give props to that person, whoever you were. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, not the Coliseum, somewhere else.
Didn't somebody confirm that they weren't graves?
I don't
know.
Even so,
I thought I read an email.
I mean, something that I find kind of interesting, and this is kind of what Mike was addressing. If the final battle takes place at a graveyard at Hogwarts or anywhere like that, that would mean that the final showdown would be at Hogwarts. And this is something that I've always been kind of firmly against. Like, I've always thought it would never happen at Hogwarts because so much has already happened there, and I feel like if Harry's going on a journey, it's going to end somewhere different than where it began. And I don't think it will be at Hogwarts. Do you guys think it will be? Do you think this is Hogwarts, or what?
I think this is through the veil in the Ministry of Magic.
That's what I think.
I think that
That's what I'm hoping for.
But somebody pointed out something very interesting, and this really crushed my theory, and it made me really upset. The Death Chamber that the veil's located in is rectangular shaped. This room is circular.
Well, who says this has to be the Death Chamber?
But that's where the veil is.
But once you go through it, what if it could be
what
something
if it turns circular? Like, the other side is circular.
What if we're in the what if we're in the locked door? The love
interesting.
Room?
Yeah. Interesting
the
moment.
Love room. What if we're in there, you guys? Who knows?
It does not look like a love room.
I don't know, man. It's nice and orange. I can imagine some hearts in there.
That's the sky. See, well, I mean, and then you could say it is the death chamber or it is the love room, but there's a sky right above us. That's like the biggest clue.
It's a window.
Maybe we're overthinking this. It is a window in the sky. To love Harry's rhapsodized.
I remember another room, something like the Great Hall is magically, enhanced to see.
No way.
No.
Who knows?
You know what's interesting about this, though? We were talking about the circle meaning eternity, and if Harry is on the other side of the veil where death is, and that room is circular, it's just kind of a cool connection to eternity.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I don't think it looks circular. I think it looks more oval.
Oblong.
Actually, I found an email where that was sent to me. Someone said it looks like the Istanbul amphitheater, and actually, as I'm looking at it,
what on earth is that?
It's a amphitheater where it's like we're looking like it's a stage. That's why there's curtains and everything. It's round like that, and there's even seating and people sitting there and everything.
So Harry's gonna go from Istanbul to Constantinople, right?
Why not?
Oh, Laura, you're so funny.
It doesn't look to me, though, that...
High five, Laura. I like that joke.
What do you guys think about it being Hogwarts? I mean, it's not that crazy of an idea. You look around the rubble. It's a stone rubble. There's wood rubble there, too, which could be the front door of the school. Is that such a far-fetched idea?
But look at the Colosseum thing. What would that be?
Well, so maybe that's the remnants of the school.
No way.
Ooh.
No way. I mean, unless this thing is going to be built in the 7th book, I don't think there's any way this is Hogwarts.
Really? There's Hogwarts on the other cover, too.
There is, but on the back cover, it's just an exterior shot. Like, I mean, that illustrator could have been thinking, like, what could I put on the back cover? Hogwarts would be cool. Moonlit. That's a stretch, but...
I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking about.
He had to get the right side of Hogwarts.
Because the other side is all rumble. And it looks just like the U.S. cover.
Is it just
exactly.
me? Okay, enough mocking me.
I feel like
that's right, Simsy.
the hunt for the Horcruxes is going to end with the location of the final battle, and it just seems so implausible to me that Harry would go off looking and he would find the last one at Hogwarts and then end up having a showdown with Voldemort.
Well, the last one's Nagini, so he's gonna go hunt, Voldemort eventually. I don't think the last Horcrux that's not the snake is gonna be there. I don't know.
I'm gonna take this completely off topic now. You know that little ball that Nagini is in? What if Harry catches him in a Pokeball?
Oh my god.
I choose you, Nagini! That's actually pretty awesome.
There it is.
That's it. And then Fox is going to come by and eat him.
You know what someone pointed out? That, I don't know if you guys talked about this on a future show, but somebody pointed out that little sphere thing looks a lot like the way the prophecy spheres were described in Order of the Phoenix. And what if Harry somehow uses prophecies to his advantage to find the remaining Horcruxes? It almost looks like he captured a snake within that.
Yeah. But I mean, like we were saying last week, there's that window, and its presence just makes me think that that's supposed to be offering some sort of clue. Because
what if it's outside Harry's window? What if it's the initial prophecy and Voldemort is sort of depicted as a snake?
Oh,
that's interesting.
No.
Yeah.
I like that, Micah. Well thought out.
Almost as good as the Pokeball.
I don't know. That Pokeball is just amazing.
Looking at the U.S. cover again, maybe you guys have given this some thought, but Voldemort's right hands, if you're holding out your hand like that, you can't physically hold out your hand like that unless your arm is twisted all the way around. So, I'm not saying that's a hint for the book, but see how his thumb is sort of just like the way his thumb's on our right.
Wrong side.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the wrong side.
Okay, everybody, hold out your arms and see.
That's what I'm doing it.
That's what I did.
His forehand is facing us.
So wait, are his palms facing us, both of them?
His palms are facing us, right.
Well, no, you can do that.
Andrew.
No, if you twist your arm all the way around.
No, Andrew. This is what you're going to do. Put your arm out in front of you.
Yeah.
And point your thumb away from you, and your hand is now turned, and from the perspective of the reader, your thumb is on the other side, and I'm doing it right now.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying, though.
I see what you're saying, man. It's not that difficult to do.
But does anyone hold their hand out like that? My arm is aching holding it like this.
Well, you would... Obviously, he's not holding it like that for a minute.
Laura, he's been holding it like that for the past 2 weeks.
He's using a wandless magic to push things away.
I think what Andrew is trying to say is perhaps this is a reflection.
A reflection? No, well...
Through the veil.
Well, yes, Micah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Exactly.
But I mean, if you look at it as if it's a reflection, it would be you would be holding your arms in the same type of position, just the opposite way. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know, but it does look weird. It looks weird. If you try and hold your hand out,
thank you, Micah.
It doesn't work the same way.
Well, here's the thing, though. When I think of this, I think of somebody like trying to catch. Like, my brother plays soccer, and when I hear you guys talking about this, I think about him leaping to the side to catch balls, and the way he throws out his arms that way. And obviously, you don't hold your arms like that forever. But if it's just a quick moment in time captured, of course it's going to look funny.
Well, Laura, soccer is typically played with the feet.
When you're a goalie, it's not, Kevin.
Well, I like to call it football.
Yeah. To start off that little discussion, we have another email. Catherine T, 16 of New York. She writes, in episode 83, you were discussing Harry and Voldemort's hands on the book 7 cover, and someone stated that both Harry and Voldemort seem to be reaching out towards something. Although I agree that Harry, based on the position of his hand, is grasping for something in the air above him, the position of Voldemort's hand seems to suggest that he is either shielding himself or trying to push something away. It makes sense that Harry would be grasping or reaching for something based on the position of his hand. When you reach for something, your hand has a slight curve to it and your thumb goes forward, almost as if you were trying to wrap your hand around whatever you are reaching for, and this is exactly what Harry's hand is doing. Voldemort, on the other hand, no pun intended, appears to have his hand more flat than Harry's, although it might just be the angle. I don't think we ever really talked about this in general. Like, what is going on here?
It looks like he's trying to push it away instead of trying to catch it or trying to keep Harry from catching it.
Yeah, we may talk about it on a future show.
Yeah, and I think I didn't say this in a future show. Voldemort seems to be leaning back.
I was going to say, what if they tripped and fell, and they're just trying to grab something to keep themselves from falling? Because, like you said, Voldemort looks like he's falling back.
Yeah.
And he's reaching at, Harry to try to grab him.
It's almost symbolic because he's sort of like falling behind the curtain.
A curtain.
Well, Andrew.
Yeah. Yes.
After I read this email, I talked to you and I said, now I'm 100% convinced that Harry is going to die in this final book.
I don't remember saying that, Micah, but go on.
I really think that that's what's going to happen, though. And I know it's terrible, but I'm really convinced, and now I'm preparing myself for it, because then it'll be a nice little surprise if he doesn't. Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at what's happening, to me, what it suggests is Harry is welcoming whatever that is. Like, let me get her name right.
Like welcome death.
Like, yeah, exactly. He's not afraid of it, though.
Yeah,
and it kind of what Catherine's saying is he's holding it out, his palm wide open, and it may not be death. It may be something that resembles death or something that will cause his death, whereas Voldemort is in a position holding up his hand where, like she said, he's almost shielding himself. So that suggests to me that this is the final battle, and
it's got to be the final battle, yeah.
Well,
something's coming for both of them, and Voldemort doesn't want any part of it.
What if it's
That's
love?
A good point.
There's the opposite of that. Love and death, man. It's, Voldemort doesn't like either of them. So, I don't know. Maybe it's Ginny coming after him. She's mad. I don't know.
Well, Micah, you brought up a good point. Voldemort doesn't want any part of it, whatever's going on there. I like that idea. Let's move on to one more email, and then we'll head to voicemails. It comes from Daphne, 20 of Los Angeles. Mikey, you live near Los Angeles, don't you?
I do. I live in Orange County.
First, I would like to say that you had a lot of interesting theories about the covers, and I enjoy listening very much. The castle on the children's UK version, I think, is Hogwarts because I know it looks sort of curved in places, but you need to take into consideration the angle that the picture is being drawn from, and then picture it standing from a distance, where you aren't looking up at it, but rather straight at it. Also, Harry does look like he's being sucked in along with Ron and Hermione, and just like Hermione by his feet. Daphne's talking about the UK children's cover. The look on his face suggests that maybe he's been taken by surprise, and it's not a good surprise. And Dobby, assuming it is holding onto his shoulder because if he doesn't, then he'll get sucked in first just because he's too small. Well, whichever house elf it is, that's an interesting perspective about the Hogwarts castle. Does anyone still think it's not the Hogwarts castle?
I mean, I guess it is. I guess it just doesn't really look like I imagine Hogwarts. I mean, even if you're standing far away from something, if it's a castle, it's not really going to have circular shapes to it. I mean, it's going to have towers, and I mean, we're talking angles, not. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Understand though too that our perception of Hogwarts really comes from the movies. So,
yeah,
you know, just because it doesn't look like the way it does in the movies doesn't mean it's not the castle.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just that even disregarding the movies, when you think of an ancient castle, you don't think of rounded towers.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's just, I mean, honestly, it's probably just an artist's perception. And it probably is Hogwarts. But just doesn't quite look like the way it's always been described. It doesn't look as old.
It just looks like it's reflecting in the moonlight, really.
Yeah.
I think it's hard.
Cloud coming in and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell because of the moonlight. It sort of skews the image, so...
Yeah, if there wasn't that moonlight on there, what would the color underneath be? Probably
Exactly.
If it was the brown Hogwarts that we've always seen, it would probably look more like what we're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what else? This Daphne also pointed out about Ron, Hermione, and Harry falling into whatever that is there. Mikey and Kevin, you guys have any ideas about that? We discussed it on episode 83.
I don't know. What'd you guys come up with?
What were we saying? That it could have been a Gringotts vault. It can't be the Veil.
I like the vault idea.
Yeah. There's just so much treasure. It's very interesting. So, I think you guys ready for some voicemails?
Hey, MuggleCast, this is Cheryl from Santa Clarita, and I was listening to your last podcast, and I was just thinking two things on the UK edition cover. If you look in the lens of Harry's glasses, you can see something, it looks like it's spewing flames, like it's a dragon, and could they be in Gringotts? So, just want to know what you thought.
I don't get it. Why would that confirm?
Because, I forget, his name was Griphook, the goblin, I believe, told Harry in the first book, or Hagrid did, that dragons guarded Gringotts.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because we were wondering what on earth was in the reflection of Harry's glasses last week.
So, I mean, maybe they're actually falling towards a dragon, or maybe they're trying to escape one, and, I mean... does this mean that Voldemort, has a Horcrux locked up in a vault there? That would be kind of cheesy.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about...
episode,
I'm not liking this future episode stuff.
I know. We do talk about...
the possibility that Voldemort had an item of consequence, that he put in a vault that he created, he used to make a Horcrux.
Yeah, we were asking why he would do that, but
which is why some in this future episode, we were considering that house elf may not be a house elf and may be one of the Gringotts goblins.
Right.
Yeah.
More on the future episode.
Yes.
Next voicemail.
All right, this is Andy from Tennessee. I have a theory on, almost proof that the tree survived. Not proof, but I'm not sure. If you look at the U.S. cover, Harry doesn't seem to be scratched up. And keep in mind that the sky is the same color as it is in the UK cover. If you look at it's what I'm saying is that they're in the Vale or wherever they are fighting Voldemort and him, and I think that they're actually exiting the Vale because they're all stuck in the UK cover, going down that weird tunnel with all the rubies and the treasure. And the sky is still orange. They're exiting the Vale or wherever they are. So while he's fighting Voldemort, he's not scratched up in the U.S. cover. So I'm saying that the U.S. cover chronologically happens before the UK cover. The UK cover is the end. Well, towards the end, assuming that it's toward the end of the book. And the trio comes out all scratched up, but Harry's not scratched up when he's fighting Voldemort in the U.S. cover. So, tell me what you think. Thanks.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
The sky covers thing has good merits, I guess you could say.
Well, it almost...
And now that looks like an archway now. We're talking about the Vale earlier.
Yeah.
On the UK cover. Huh.
You mean on the UK cover it looks like an archway?
Yeah,
it
does.
It doesn't look like a circle anymore.
Well, yeah, that looks like an archway. And the room looked... I mean, did we used to think it looked circular?
Well, heck, I mean, you could almost say that archway is the same as all the archways circling Harry and Voldemort in the Colosseum. It's probably not.
Oh, that's
but
true. I mean, but it's similar, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, the same sky colors are on the other side through the archway.
And you can see a piece of the on the UK cover. If you look below Hermione's arm, you can see a piece of it. So it does confirm that it's not perfectly circular.
Yeah, I mean, it
Otherwise,
almost looks
it would be
like
curving back.
If they're falling forward, it almost looks like they're escaping from whatever room we see depicted on the U.S. cover.
Yeah, but look at Ron's position.
Like Ron.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what's confusing about it.
You know, if you look hard enough, I think you can see the U.S. cover hidden in the background of the UK cover. I think I zoomed in enough and I can kind of see it. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Although, actually, if you look at the position of Ron's foot, it's possible that he's coming out.
It's so confusing how this is set up.
It really is.
Because, like, there's a dragon right in front of them, it seems. So, like, you know, you wouldn't be going towards that, would you? And
unless it's Norbert.
The death room or a dragon, I mean...
Hermione and Ron are definitely falling back because of their hair. Definitely Hermione. Because their hair's
what
in
do you
front
guys
of her.
think about him being pulled? Because if you look at the left side of Ron's cloak,
it looks like
up by his shoulder,
yeah.
It looks like he's being pulled down. And that would kind of go with what's going on with Hermione. She looks like she's being pulled back also.
And Harry's got this guy pulling him back with the sword.
But Harry looks like he's resisting it a bit more.
He looks like he's determined.
We don't see his feet. And Hermione also looks like she's trying to grab onto something. But Harry, on the other hand, is just blocking himself. Or at least with his left arm and hand he is.
There seems to be a running theme with this, like, blocking, catching type thing going on with the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, no wands. It's all wandless magic. We're not going to see a single magic wand in this entire book.
Oh, we better.
Oh, no.
I missed the spells. Flipendo! Sorry, that was the video game.
Yeah. My gosh.
That was a fun spell.
Flipendo! Over and over.
That used to piss my parents off all the time. I would play that till like 3 a.m, and my dad would come out and be like, shut the hell up.
Hi guys, on the last episode of MuggleCast, you were talking about the back of the UK Children Edition and the castle. And what I thought was the castle is Hogwarts and the tree type thing is maybe the Forbidden Forest. And because the Forbidden Forest is a lot darker, that's where the Death Eaters and all the bad guys are hiding, and as Hogwarts is illuminated, that's where the good side are. And the way the clouds are heading towards Hogwarts, maybe it's some sort of foreshadowing of a battle that will take place there. Love to know your thoughts. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Well, it looks... There's two possibilities, that the clouds are like fog or like something generated from a spell, or it's just smoke and the woods are like the...
On fire?
Forbidden Forest on fire. It's quite possible.
Yeah, it is.
If you're going to siege a castle, you're going to want to, get rid of any cover that people could use to go in and out of the castle.
That's
not
true.
to mention clear a path, a nice clear path to the castle. And what better way than just destroy a path right through the forest?
Clearly, they need to listen to Smokey the Bear.
Yeah. I was going to say, although what's interesting about the cover is that if you look, all this is going on, but look at that door at the bottom. The bottom right.
What door? What are you talking about?
Well, look at the back of the UK cover.
The back.
It's open. I mean, light is coming out of it. So why, if the castle is being attacked or something, why is
maybe
the
this
door
is like
open?
the calm before the storm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's an awfully bright light. It's casting it. Well, no. What's coming out of the door? See how the light is like spreading across the ground. That's interesting. I just got a interesting email from Phil, 15, right there in Orange County.
The OC represent.
I just thought it would be good to let you know that the color orange means strength, honor, generosity, and prosperity. I was wondering if this could mean the opposite of a black cover for book 7. And I mean, the spine of the UK children's cover is orange.
It's orange,
and the sky is orange, and the curtains are orange. So I thought that
and
was
right below the ISBN is orange on the UK.
There you go. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Thanks.
Nothing rhymes with the word orange.
I know, it's such a problem when I'm playing the Rhine game.
Or purple.
Slurple.
No.
Hey, this is Kennedy from Georgia. I was calling because I was listening to MuggleCast number 83, and the locket on the UK Adult Edition was saying you're saying it's not quite as extravagant as we would think Slytherin's locket would be, and I was actually thinking that it might possibly be the one that Dumbledore and Harry found, the one that RAB replaced there after he got the real Horcrux. Alright, I love your show, bye.
It could be.
Like,
I mean,
see, my thing was...
I don't think the locket has to be extravagant in any way.
Well, it was Slytherin's locket, though, and the way that Voldemort, kind of treasures very extravagant things.
If you look at that locket on the adult cover, those are gemstones laid into the
Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you think they'd actually be Mardi Gras beads? Like, if it was Slytherin's, I'm quite sure they'd be emeralds or something precious. So
I'm sure they would be, but I think something that I'd kind of wondered about was if Harry is wearing the locket around his neck, I don't think it would be safe to wear a Horcrux around your neck. It almost seems like he would wear the fake one as some sort of homage to Dumbledore.
What I was thinking was...
Dumbledore wore the ring.
And look what happened to him.
What I was thinking was this.
Way to show respect.
If Harry had destroyed the Horcrux, right? Like, Dumbledore had destroyed the ring, and now it was just a useless object.
I mean, that's an option, too.
What a better way to, psych out Voldemort than pull out the locket that Voldemort knows is a Horcrux, but is no longer a Horcrux. Or
what better way to just walk up and be wearing it?
Right, in a fight with Voldemort. I mean, if Voldemort is expecting to go into a battle with Harry and thinking that he has the upper hand because of the Horcruxes, and all of a sudden Harry pulls out a Horcrux, or is wearing a Horcrux that he knows is a Horcrux, he's got to assume that Harry has done his job. And that's a perfect way to psych,
Yeah, and he fears death, and that means he's just one step closer to actually death because Harry knows his secret.
Not to mention, I didn't see, when I imagined the locket, I didn't imagine, this gaudy piece of, purely gem-encrusted jewelry. This is a locket that a man wore, it was probably simple. It was.
Well, there is a description
flashy.
of it.
But you got to understand the cover, the adult cover, is not something to really take to heart. I'm looking at the Chamber of Secrets one, and you see the door, and it's got
that's
glowing
true.
emeralds in the eyes. The Philosopher's Stone's this glowing red stone, and I think those are just made to kind of get the idea across, but they're made to look more like an adult book. And I think it comes off really, really nice the way it is, but I don't think it's really meant to give us a perfect description of what the locket's really supposed to be.
Hang on, I'm finding a description of the one at Grimmauld Place.
Oh, it was just a heavy, unopenable locket.
Also a heavy locket that none of them could open. So we know it's heavy.
Very simple.
That tells us a lot about the appearance of it.
Well, no, it tells us that it is kind of a nondescript type thing, because if there was anything interesting about it, it would have been noted.
They would have mentioned it. That's true.
So it wasn't described at all in Half-Blood Prince?
Yeah.
Well, not the real one.
Also the S.
Well, it would have to be pretty close to the real one to make Voldemort think that when he opened it...
How do we know that Voldemort actually made trips back to visit his Horcruxes, though?
No, but I'm saying if RAB found it in the first place...
He was intending that letter for Voldemort.
Yeah, the replicate would have to look...
At least something like it.
Enough like the original.
Well, not necessarily, because he was trying to wig Voldemort out by saying, I destroyed your Horcrux, and what better way than for him to go and look and see something that's very obviously not his, and then to open it and find that note.
Question. How did the note stay dry when it was inside that potion?
I would assume the locket was sealed with a gasket.
Was it that sealed, sitting there for years, no water, no solution would get in?
I have several lockets, and if they're well made, they can.
And they said even on the Titanic and stuff, they found lockets and stuff like that with photos in them still.
Yeah, but when Dumbledore hit the ground, the locket bumped open, so I'm assuming it's not that good of a locket that R.A.B. replaced it with.
Yeah, if you hit it at the right angle, plus he's dropping.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
Suspend your disbelief.
I'm trying to cause problems here.
No. We respect your opinion, but stop talking.
No.
Yeah. All right, I'll stop talking.
I'm kidding. All right, so that does it for our voicemails and our coverage for now. By the way, I just want to round of applause for Mr. Eric Skoll last week for editing the show. Did a good job. If you recognize it,
he did. You didn't get
the excellent editing that you always get. It was because of Eric. I'm just kidding. He actually did a really good job for his first time. Because I was down in Disney World. Okay, so feel free, anyone, to participate.
I was at Disneyland.
Were you?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
I went with John Noe.
Oh, that's right. You went with John, yeah. Who was that guy? I don't know.
Some guy.
Mike, the other day you were saying to me that something was bugging you the other day.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit. Nothing too much, but when I asked for Joe to update her site not too long ago, it was great that we did get the cover art and everything. But she still didn't update her site.
That's a good point. I think she tried to trick you out.
I would just like to see something. She did try to trick me out. I don't appreciate that either. So Joe, you don't play games with a New Yorker like that. Anyway,
he has a family.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
maybe Easter. I think it would be nice if it sort of coordinated, since they call those things Easter eggs on her site. Mm-hmm. If she did something along those lines, maybe made a little update, and maybe she's celebrating with her family on Sunday, so I don't want to interrupt that, but Monday, in that time frame, that would be interesting to get something from her. Even a diary post. Well, I'm not asking for big things here, okay? Just something nice and simple.
All right, very good. Very good. I think that was a fair request. So we'll see what you can make of it. I thought it'd be fun to play Chicken Soup for the MuggleCast Soul NCAA edition. That's why I said play.
All right.
Oh, I see.
We have an email here from Paul Crookston, 14 of Tampa, Florida. He writes, "Hey guys, I would just like to say that a liberal dose of MuggleCast and World of Warcraft kept me from extreme depression. After seeing Ohio State lose to the Florida Gators in basketball after Florida previously beat us with great help from Lady Luck. In football as well, I was ready to axe murder the next person I saw with Gator swag on. But MuggleCast and Warcrafting calmed me down enough to already have my mind on next year. Go MuggleCast and go Buckeyes!"
Go Buckeyes.
I'll support that statement, though. Yeah. So thanks, Paul, for that. And before we close out the show today, a couple more emails. I don't understand why people are so upset that we revealed what happens in the final book. Another email came from Rachel21. She's 21. She's from the USA. "I can't believe how immature you all are. I used to love you guys. Then I listened to episode 83. If this was all a joke, I need to know. Otherwise, you have lost one very faithful listener. With that, I spread the word. So far, I have 3 people who will not listen to your broadcasts, and the number will grow. Not a threat." I don't know how that's not a threat. Continuing along. "But you might want to change how you act. I can't believe none of you thought it was wrong. Sigh. I think I've ranted enough. You guys are still a great group of people. I just think episode 83 should have been more planed out, as in cutting out the part where you ruined my enjoyment of waiting to find out about the book when I read it. So long, and thanks for all the spoilers." Anytime, Rachel? Anytime. One more email.
Was it a joke? I mean, come on. We said they used MySpace and Facebook.
Here's what I don't get. All these people complaining about not wanting to know what happens in Book 7. But then you look at the sales of MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen, and it's like,
exactly.
You did too want to know. You bought the book. You obviously want to know.
They don't want to know any definitive answers. They don't want to know that Hermione and Ron die.
But Mikey, it's what will happen. No question mark.
But it's still speculation. It's still speculation.
That's not speculation if we're telling the truth. Yeah, you read the manuscript, didn't you?
Well,
one more email. I thought this was very cool. David and Mary, aged 12 and 15 of Ohio. They write, "Hey, MuggleCasters, we would just like to add some comments regarding the 7th book. To begin, our mother works for Scholastic. She also discovered a loophole in the system, allowing her to inform us of the events that occurred in the latest installment of Harry Potter. We were extremely shocked to discover Lord Voldemort made Luna's radish earrings into a Horcrux. We also felt astonished that Voldemort possessed Arnold the Pygmy Puff, thus infiltrating the ranks of the Order of the Phoenix. We love the show, but we're disappointed you forgot to mention these vital plot details. Thanks, David and Mary." David and Mary...
Another Pokemon reference.
We didn't want to give everything away.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides, now there's 2 more people for everybody to yell at for spoiling Book 7.
Yeah,
email them.
You want their IP address? They didn't give me their email, but you want their IP address? I'll send it to everyone.
But I was just going to point out another Pokemon Harry Potter connection.
Oh, what's that?
The Pygmy Puff is just like Jigglypuff.
Good point. All right, so I think that wraps up today's show. We thank everyone for listening. To contact us, you can just head over to our brand new MuggleCast website. You can send us some parcel mail with the MuggleCast to the MuggleCast P.O. Box 223, Mountain Ridge, Kansas 67107. You can also call the MuggleCast hotline. If you're in the United States, you can dial 1-218-20-MAGIC. If you're in the United Kingdom, you can dial 020-8144-0677. And if you're in Australia, you can dial 02803-5668. You can also Skype the username MuggleCast and try to keep your message under a minute and eliminate as much background noise as possible. You can also go to MuggleCast.com for a handy feedback form to contact any one of us, or our first name at staff.mugglenet.com. Also, don't forget to visit all of our community outlets, the MySpace, Facebook, YouTube Frapper, Last.fm, and the fan listing and forums. You can also dig the show at dig.com, vote for us once a month at Podcast Alley, and rate and review us at Yahoo Podcasts. I'm really tongue-twisted right now. Also, one last note. Coming up on Wednesday or Thursday, not sure which, we have another special midweek Jamie is a Waste of Space show. And that is a live call-in show that we did a little earlier today, hence the reason we kept referencing the future show. So that about does it. Once again, I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
I'm Mike Tanneman.
And I'm Mikey B.
We'll see everyone next week, actually Wednesday, for episode 86. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.